In some of the toughest places on earth, Christian aid is there, helping people caught up in conflict to walk the long road to recovery. Last year, 20,000 churches raised almost £12 million in Christian Aid Week. And as a result, countless people can look forward to a future free from poverty. But there are many, many more who still need our help. Worldwide, about 42 million people have been driven from their homes as a result of conflict. We can't turn our backs. We need to act, and we need to act now. Together, we can send people living in fear this message: you are not alone. And one country that urgently needs this support is the world's newest nation, South Sudan. Since 1955, the country has been caught up in two terrible civil wars. More than 2 million people have been killed, around 4 million displaced. But in July 2011, South Sudan became a country in its own right. Many people who'd fled because of the war decided it was time to go home and rebuild their lives. But for some, that new life would be a life without a home, without real security, without a means of earning a living. Like many people from South Sudan, Anoon fled to the north decades ago to escape the civil war.
During the war, the militias put all my relatives inside the house. They set it alight. Many burned to death. I escaped with my mother. That's why we went to Khartoum.
Anun was 10 at the time. She lived in Khartoum for over 20 years. She married a teacher and had 8 children. They lived a comfortable life.
My husband had a good job. We bought nice clothes, ate good food, and our children went to school.
There was discrimination and persecution against Southerners living in the north. In 2011, when independence came, Anoon and her husband Madut faced an agonising choice: to stay in North Sudan and live in fear, or to give up relative prosperity for freedom.
In Khartoum, I feared for my children, especially when they went to school.
When they arrived in their homeland, Anoon's family was sent to a sprawling camp.
When we came here, we were just dumped in the bush. It was a shock to all of us, especially my son, David. He said, "We've come from our last house to live under a tree, to sleep in a lot of dust."
They were given emergency items by Christian Aid's partner, Hope Agency for Relief and Development, known as HARD. Unused to such a harsh existence, David, a healthy 17-year-old, developed pneumonia and died before a doctor could see him.
My son, he loved his brothers and sisters. Sometimes when they had an argument, he would say, "Quarrel is not the solution. Sit down and discuss it."
Anoon's family were devastated with grief. And then, out of the depths of despair, came reason to hope again. The relief agency, HARD, gave them the money to build a permanent home. Bringing her family under one roof gives Anoon the chance of a life free from fear, a sense of peace and security.
The help that HARD has given is really very great. We've been able to build a proper house with rooms, buy timber for the roof. I built my house here next to my son's grave, and I'll not leave it.
This is the story of just one family's return to their homeland. There are many others. Through your donations, we can work with partners like HARD to help those who've lost everything rebuild their lives. £4.70 would buy 2 blankets to help those exposed to the elements keep warm. £34 would buy 1,000 mud bricks to help a family build a new home. Join us in this Christian Aid Week, the 11th to the 17th of May, in the biggest act of Christian witness across Britain and Ireland. War tears lives apart. Your love can help piece them together again.
My hope is that God will protect my children so that we live in peace for a long time.